Welcome back. Now we're on to Tennessee State Senator Brent Taylor's Facebook post calling out MSCS support of Memphis rapper GloRilla. It's ruffling feathers. Here's the flyer for MSCS promoting a student raffle, giving away 2 tickets to GloRilla's Glow Bash concert on Friday night. Even Interim Superintendent Roderick Richmond did the honors of pulling the 2 winner students' names on Thursday. And it just so happens this week GloRilla busted on federal drug charges in Georgia after deputies were called to her home for a burglary but found marijuana and another drug. Now, she was out of town at the time but turned herself in on Tuesday and bonded out. And then here comes Senator Brent Taylor's Facebook post on Thursday, cursing at MSCS board members for hosting the raffle, saying in part, if you looked up dumb bleep moves, you'd find a picture of this student raffle to see GloRilla. Only 29% of the district students in grades 3 through 5 passed in reading this year. I'm wondering if certain school board members could pass that reading test themselves. And lastly, a few weeks ago, board member Tawana Murphy, who's been scrutinized for her social media behavior, called out Taylor's inappropriate posts online, saying the public doesn't hold him or Commissioner Mick Wright to the same standards. Milton, we'll start with you. You said you had a lot to say.
I have a lot to say. Well, let's say this. Let's give kudos to GloRilla. She is hosting a concert in her hometown. She is by far, over the last few years, the largest, most recent star to come out of Memphis that has really taken the Memphis music to a different level, right? So there's a congrats to her for that, right? Now, when it comes to the judging of the art form itself, I particularly am the viewpoint of you do not judge someone by the art that they make. I think you can have differences in their behaviors and that sort of things. But when it comes to the school system, wanting to award tickets or anybody wanting to award tickets, that's where the students, that's what they're listening to. That's where they are. If you want to reach them, you want to grab their attention, go to where they are. Now, I think you can entertain them, but it also can be an educational moment, right? You can say, here's a form of art, here is music that is for entertainment, but then when you look at an artist's life and the behavior and something they do in their personal time, I think there's a separation, educational moment that you can do with students. You do not have to all of a sudden hide the world from them, because they're going to see it on their iPads, they're going to see it on their phone, and I think we should celebrate our artists, even if there's a little bit of challenges that we may have with their personal lives.
She's certainly a big star. What do you say to the idea that there's a certain standard of decorum that people
Okay,
need?
let me, I'm 72 years old, so I'm in a whole different ballgame. We have ratings at movies for books that we read, and we help parents guide if they want their children to be involved in that activity. I expect for a school system to work in that same standard and find a way to get the cooperation of parents if you want your child to participate in such a raffle. Because we are serving all children, public children, and they have a right, parents have a right to help shape the culture of their children with certain activities. That's why we have ratings in movies, and that's why we have ratings in books. Yeah. All right, saying that, it does not negate public officials calling mothers, grandmothers, and public servants dumb bleeps or jock itch. That is beneath the dignity of the office that you serve. You serve this public, and I expect better decorum from leadership. And I didn't know what to say when I saw jock itch. I had to call somebody and ask them, what is a jock itch? Because I don't even know what that is, thank God. But I just thought that was beneath the office he serves. And I know him better than that, and he's a better person than that. And I ask all public officials, before you talk about the speck in somebody else's eye, take the mote out of yours.
I don't know how much time we have here.
Quick bite.
Very, very quickly here. Brent Taylor, and let's just call the name, Brent Taylor. I've had several discussions with him. He has been on this kind of vile rampage for quite a while, and it is beneath the dignity of the office that he serves. He ought to be ashamed of himself for saying these kinds of things and denigrating people. You can make your point politically without having to do all that. The fact is that GloRilla is innocent until proven guilty of the charges down there. She wasn't even at home. So I expect that she will, I don't think those charges are going to stick anyway. Now, you can make an argument about her music, but I just think from a political standpoint, Tawana Murphy, and I don't agree with Tawana Murphy on much of anything, but she's absolutely right that Brent Taylor enjoys a different standard here. He should moderate his tone because that is not how a public official is supposed to act.
All right, that's a strong point to end on. Honestly, thank you. Thank all of you for being here. That's all we have on ABC24 this week. We hope you'll join us next week for This Week. Take care.